Good morning, church. That was a good word from RJ. Amen. How many of you guys have been enjoying the series so far? Good stuff, huh? So Pastor Vaughn and the family is actually serving another church this morning. So thank you all for keeping him in prayer and the family in prayer. But might be a little too loud. Awesome. But, just thinking about our series, Just Jesus, and all the stories, the Word tells us that, there's not enough books to contain all of what He did. So he chose these specific stories that we get to read in the Bible, which is so, I keep thinking about that. I was like, wow, from all that He's done, He's sharing, like, these specific ones, and how special are they? So today we're going to be in the book of Matthew, chapter 14. If you have your Bibles, we can turn there. And this morning, the title of the message is going to be Jesus Feeds the Hungry. So Matthew 5:6, blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Again, blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Thank you, Father. Thank you for your presence, Lord. Thank you for your word this morning. Thank you, Lord. We come before you this morning, hungry, Lord, hungry for your righteousness, Lord. Thank you for the robe of righteousness that you've covered us with, that you've placed on us, Lord. Thank you for this time. Thank you for meeting us here this morning, Lord. I pray, Father God, to give us ears to hear, to give us eyes to see, Lord. Thank you for all the seeds you're planting. Thank you for watering the seeds that you have planted, Lord. Would you just bless us with your presence this morning, Father? Help us remove all distractions, Lord. Help us fix our eyes and our heart on you this morning. We sit beneath your word, Lord, hungry to receive all that you have for us, Lord. So thank you. Thank you for meeting us this morning. Have your way, Lord. We love you and we thank you in the name of Jesus. Amen. 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 All right. So we're going to be in Matthew 14, and the passage is going to be verse 13 through 21. As soon as Jesus heard the news, he left in a boat to a remote area to be alone. But the crowds heard where he was headed and followed on foot from many towns. Jesus saw a huge crowd as he stepped from the boat, and he had compassion on them and healed their sick. Bless you. That evening, the disciples came to him and said, "This is a remote place, and it's already getting late. Send the crowds away so they can go to the villages and buy food for themselves." But Jesus said, "That isn't necessary. You feed them." "But we have only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish," they answered. "Bring them here," he said. Then he told the people to sit down on the grass. Jesus took the 5 loaves and 2 fish, looked up toward heaven, and blessed them. Then breaking the loaves into pieces, he gave the bread to the disciples, who distributed to the people. They all ate as much as they wanted, and afterward the disciples picked up 12 baskets of leftovers. About 5,000 men were fed that day, in addition to all the women and children. Pretty amazing. 5 loaves, 2 fish. And leftovers, right? It was cool. When we went to Israel, we got to go to the location where this actually took place. It was like rolling hills, and you can see just the people sitting on the grass. You can imagine the people sitting on the grass. So number one this morning is seeking the source. Verse 13, 14. As soon as Jesus heard the news, he left in a boat to a remote area to be alone. But the crowds heard where he was headed and followed on foot from many towns. Jesus saw the huge crowd as he stepped from the boat, and he had compassion on them and healed their sick. So Jesus wanted to be alone. He got in the boat and he went to be alone. This morning I want to ask ourselves, what does it mean to you to seek Jesus? Is it coming to church on Sundays? Is it reading your Bible? Is it praying? Like, ask yourself, what is it to seek Jesus? I think that we see in Scripture that it's a relentless pursuit until you are face to face with Jesus and he does something tangible in your life. So it's a relentless pursuit, a daily pursuit of seeking him. Many of us are following Jesus and living as Christians should, but does that necessarily mean we are seeking Jesus? I almost named this point hide and seek because nobody plays hide and seek to walk around forever looking for someone, right? The whole point is that we find them, right? So there are three groups in the beginning of this story that I just want to look into a little bit more. So the first group is seeking Jesus because they knew he was the source of something they needed, right? So this is one group. They had a need and they knew Jesus was the source, so they were seeking him. This group probably, just like the people who come to our church and other churches, some people come seeking for deliverance, for love, for relationships, for healing, for restoration, right? That's why I came to church. I came for my marriage to be restored. I came to be delivered from the addiction that I was addicted to. But there are a lot of different reasons, but everyone has to come to believe that Jesus is the source. They were willing to leave everything behind, right? Whatever they were doing in their day, work, family, responsibilities, they had to leave everything behind to go and pursue and seek Jesus. And they weren't walking aimlessly, right? They had purpose, direction, and faith as they were seeking to find him. The second group might not have had any needs, but maybe because they were curious, right? And they heard the excitement of the first group, that they just said, hey, we're going to come along, right? So they didn't necessarily have a need, but they were curious and excited to see what was going on. Like most people, once they got to Jesus, they realized they did have needs, right? So before they actually decided to join the first group, they probably were like, I don't need anything, but I'm just going to go along. I'm going to tag along. But when they did actually come to Christ, they were able to find that they actually had some needs. When we go on Sidewalk Sanctuary, right, we're going out there and we're asking people if they need prayer. And more than half of the people will tell us, we don't need anything. Thank you, right? But I think we all know we all have needs. We all have needs, right? So again, these people, that group 2 that joined group 1, initially they thought they didn't have any needs. Imagine what this group was experiencing when they were watching Jesus healing their friends, their family, their neighbors from their communities. Imagine what they were thinking, right? Jesus was healing illnesses, comforting people that were mourning, providing peace for people that were dealing with anxiety and just worry. Imagine seeing how Jesus was meeting them, meeting their needs right in front of them. All of a sudden, they start to reconsider if maybe they should also be asking for something. And then lastly, there's a third group. The third group was also in their communities, right? They heard people, the excitement, and they were, I'm sure, curious what's going on, where they're going, who are they trying to find? But they actually decided just to go about their day. Whatever that may be. If they were working, if they were, preparing meals, taking care of the kids, they just decided to stay back, right? Many of them probably went to synagogue that next Sabbath and felt like they were seeking God, but they were actually just following God in a religious sense. Growing up, we used to go to church every so often, and it just felt like you were doing something good. It was part of our religion to go to church, and even today, there's a lot of people are going to church just because it's makes us feel good. It's the right thing to do. But I think there is a difference with following and doing the things, religious things, versus seeking Jesus. Matthew 7:7. For everyone who seeks receives, everyone who seeks finds, and to everyone who knocks the door will be open. Everyone who was willing to seek, found and saw, experienced the love and power of Jesus that day. This is why things like Friends Sunday are so important, right? It doesn't matter why they come, it just matters that they come. Because they will be in the presence of the Lord. The amazing thing is that they all received the same food. Everyone that was there ate of the same food. Yes, they all got the specific healing they went seeking him for, but what sustained them moving on from there was exactly the same. A meal prepared by and served by Jesus. John 6:35, Jesus replied, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never hunger again. He is the bread of life. Whoever comes to him will never hunger again. Jesus himself is the bread of life that we all need. And he is our daily bread that sustains us. He's the source of life. He breathed life in us. His provisions continue to meet every need. He continues to heal, deliver, restore, comfort, strengthen, and lead us every day as we seek him. We just need to keep seeking Jesus. Keep showing up. Keep accepting the invitations, and keep dining at the Lord's table and have communion with our Father. So number 1 was seeking the source. Number 2 is serving while suffering. It's a tough one. Verse 13, as soon as Jesus heard the news, he left in a boat to a remote area to be alone. So Jesus just heard some news, and he wanted to be alone. What kind of news makes us want to be alone? What kind of news? Bad news, right? Yeah, any bad news, just we want to be alone. So Matthew 14, we're going to go up to the top, verse 3 through 13. For Herod had arrested and imprisoned John as a favor to his wife Herodias, a former wife of Herod's brother Philip. John had been telling Herod, it is against God's law for you to marry her. Herod wanted to kill John, but he was afraid of a riot. Because all the people believed John was a prophet, because they believed that he was a prophet. But at a birthday party for Herod, Herodias' daughter performed a dance that greatly pleased him. So he promised with a vow to give her anything she wanted. At her mother's urging, the girl said, I want the head of John the Baptist on a tray." Then the king regretted what he had said, but because of the vow he made in front of his guests, he issued the necessary orders. So John was beheaded in prison, and his head was brought on a tray and given to the girl, who took it up to her mother. Later, John's disciples came for his body and buried it. Then they went and told Jesus what had happened. As soon as Jesus heard the news, he left in a boat to a remote area to be alone. So he hears his cousin, John, being murdered. And as he's suffering and mourning, he decides to be alone. How many of us have the tendency to isolate ourselves when we're suffering or we're mourning? I do, right? It's definitely a normal reaction, and it's actually what Jesus did, right? That's what he did. He went on the boat to be alone. So it's normal. It's okay to mourn and to be alone. The question I think we have to ask is, how long do we isolate ourselves? So it's okay to isolate, to mourn, right? But how long? I think we have to ask ourselves that. Another question I think we have to ask ourselves is, isn't there always suffering and a reason to be mourning something in our lives? Right? Right. If we aren't careful, we can end up living our whole lives in isolation because it's our first and natural reaction to suffering and mourning. I don't know if anyone knows, but I know a couple of people that just have been mourning for as long as I know them. I have a neighbor that lost a son in his mid-20s, and every weekend she's driving to LA, I think it's LA, to his site for 20 years now. And if that's not hard enough, her daughter just got in an accident. So she lost her son in an accident. And her daughter, just a month ago, they get a call 4 a.m. that she got in a car accident and she's in the ICU. She only had 2. But thankfully, God, she's out of the hospital. She's in rehab right now. I can't imagine. So Jesus went off to be alone to mourn the death of his cousin, but not very long after that, a group of people with their own suffering and sadness and mourning came looking to him for help. So Jesus doesn't stop suffering or mourning here. He just starts to go towards others with compassion and love. When we're mourning, the enemy wants us to stay isolated and keep us from pursuing and seeking Christ and pursuing other people. The enemy wants us to be isolated. Isolated from Jesus and isolated from family, from other people, right? That is his goal, right? Steal, kill, and destroy. Keep us away from all that God has for us. How many of us honestly believe that the answer to our suffering and sadness is to serve others?
Amen. Amen.
Could that really be the answer? Yes. In our suffering, in our mourning time, to serve? Sounds crazy, but that's exactly what Jesus is showing us here, right? Amen. Hebrews 12:2. Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, The cross isn't less painful, and Jesus' suffering isn't reduced. He has the joy because he has served others while suffering on the cross. He saw the eternal impact that it was having on all their lives. Throughout the Bible, Jesus shows us how he continues to put his feelings, emotions, and sufferings second as he serves others. In this story, he goes back to the shore and back towards people, and he gets out of the boat to continue tending to them and healing them and feeding them. I have to believe that Jesus wants us to do the same thing when we are suffering and when we are mourning. So we have to realize that we can and should mourn, but most of us probably stay there too long. Maybe every time we think about the ways that we are suffering or mourning, we should also ask ourselves, what are the ways that I am serving others right now in my suffering? I think that will help us. I hope that seed is planted right now, so when we are suffering or mourning, the Holy Spirit can bring to remembrance, like, who can I be helping? Who can I be serving? Who can I be checking on? Right? Just showing up. I truly believe as we, exercise this in our lives, we will be blessed. We will receive the strength that we need to continue to, endure some of the mourning that we're dealing with or the suffering, but he will provide everything we need as we continue to seek him and to serve others. So number 1 is seeking the source. Number 2, serving while suffering. And number 3, it's good to consider others. Verse 15, that evening the disciples came to him and said, "This is a remote place and it's already getting late. Send the crowds away so they can go to the village and buy food for themselves." So the disciples here are doing a good thing by considering these people, right? They identify that it's getting late and they're getting hungry because they've been out here all day, hanging out with Jesus. So they tell Jesus to let the people go home and, to the village to be able to get some food. So how many of us think a lot about other people's circumstances? This seems like a small thing, but people aren't actually as considerate of others as they should be. And we probably aren't as considerate as we think we are. It's a good thing to consider others, isn't it? Right? All right, so number 1, seeking the source. Number 2, serving while suffering. Number 3, it's good to consider others. Number 4, when good isn't good enough. Is there a difference between considering others and doing for others? What do you guys think? It's a difference, right? Acts 10:38. And you know that God anointed Jesus of Nazareth with the Holy Spirit and with power. Then Jesus went around doing good and healing all who were oppressed by the devil, for God was with him. So Jesus went about doing good, right? He was healing, right? He was delivering people. So he was actually doing it versus thinking about it. Verse 15, 16. That evening, the disciples came to him and said, "This is a remote place and it's already getting late. Send the crowds away so they can go to the villages and buy food for themselves." But Jesus said, "That isn't necessary. You feed them. You do something." So when good isn't good enough, considering someone but doing nothing is not good enough. Amen? Amen. The work isn't done for these people. What can you guys do for these people? So Jesus has compassion and he healed the sick, which is something only he could do, but he expects us to do what we can do. Right? last week, I think it was last week, in the morning we get to the office and there's a homeless person sleeping right in front of our door. And next door we have a salon, and the ladies were freaking out apparently. I wasn't there, the guys were there. And they were like, oh, what are you guys gonna do? Like, you gotta get rid of them. The clients are nervous and scared. So we're just thinking about this, and some people that saw this man probably considered to do something, right? Some of us just have that. Like we should do something, help him. Some people probably didn't consider doing anything, like get rid of him, call the cops, do something, right? But that morning, Brother Steve was compelled to do something. Amen? Look at me. I'm taking pictures of him as he's serving. So he decided to call the Hope Center. Amen. Yes. Yeah. The Hope Center came through with their nice van, with like their police lights. So it was funny because right now Steve's out there telling these folks how to probably consider getting rid of the light on top. He's giving them some feedback. He's like, if I'm that guy, I'm not going in that van. I don't know where you're going to take me, if you're taking me to jail or something. But he was compelled by the Spirit to do something, right? Instead of just walking by him or calling the police. So thank God for Hope Center. He reached out, and they came out actually pretty quickly to meet his needs. The gentleman didn't go with them, but they did give him, I think, like a trash bag or something he asked for to go about his day. We've built a relationship with the Hope Center, and we actually hosted Homelessness 101 here, training for those that were interested in helping, serve the homeless community in Orange County. And through that, we got to find Hope Center, and I have it on my phone, so wherever we are, when we run into someone that needs shelter, that needs resources, I can just make a call and they just pull up. Wherever you are, they just come up, as we see Steve did here. So I want to share a special story out of Luke chapter 10, verse 25 through 37. One day an expert in religious law stood up to test Jesus by asking him this question: Teacher, what should I do to inherit eternal life? Jesus replied, what does the law of Moses say? How do you read it? The man answered, you must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your strength, and all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. Right? Jesus told him, do this and you will live. He's saying do it. Right? Love your neighbor. The man wanted to justify his actions, so he asked Jesus, and who is my neighbor? Jesus replied with a story. A Jewish man was traveling from Jerusalem down to Jericho, and he was attacked by bandits. They stripped him of his clothes, beat him up, and left him half dead beside the road. By chance, a priest came along, but when he saw the man lying there, he crossed to the other side of the road and passed him by. A temple assistant walked over and looked at him lying there, but he also passed by on the other side. Then a despised Samaritan came along, and when he saw the man, he felt compassion for him. Going over to him, the Samaritan soothed his wounds with olive oil, wine, and bandaged them. Then he put the man on his own donkey and took him to an inn, where he took care of him. The next day, he handed the innkeeper 2 silver coins, telling him, take care of this man. If his bill runs higher than this, I'll pay you the next time I'm here. Now, which of these three would you say was a neighbor to the man who was attacked by bandits? Jesus asked. The man replied, the one who showed him mercy. Then Jesus said, yes, now go and do the same. Jesus said to go and do the same, right? Unfortunate, you have the priest, the religious figure. He didn't consider this man. He actually went to the other side and avoided him. Then you had the temple assistant, someone part of the temple, that went to him, right? Identified him, went to him, considered him. But something else came in place of actually helping this man. So what did he do? He crossed over too, and he just went about his day. Then you have this Samaritan that was compelled, right, to go and actually take care of him, cover his wounds, take him to shelter, call Hope Center, right, get him the resources that he needs. Jesus reminds us of his commandment. You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your strength, and all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. The Good Samaritan story does an amazing job showing us what Jesus is asking us to do. We can't cross that to the other side. We have to go to the people that are in need and serve those people. Considering others isn't always going to be good enough. Jesus is usually going to ask us to do something for others too. Invite others to church, but then check on them and offer to read with them, right? So when we consider inviting friends, that's a good thing. Let's invite them, but let's go the extra mile, right? Let's check on them. Let's love our neighbors. Pray for others, but then also talk to them about what areas that they're struggling in or they need prayer for, or how you can support them. Believe in the work that the church is doing, but also financially invest into the work the church is doing. Pray for your marriage, but then invest to go to couples retreat, right? Considering our marriages is going to require us to invest, to do something, right? So number 1, seeking the source. Number 2, serving while suffering. Number 3, do good things. Number 4, when good isn't good enough. And the last one this morning is sacrifice plus source equals synergy. Sacrifice plus source equals synergy. The definition of synergy: the interaction or cooperation of 2 or more organizations, substances, or other agents to produce a combined effect greater than the sum of their separate effects. So 2 organizations, right? When they come together, they're much more stronger than they're, individually. Yeah. So verse 17 through 19. But we only have 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, they answered. Bring them here, he said. Then he told the people to sit down on the grass. Jesus took the 5 loaves and 2 fish, looked up toward heaven, and blessed them. Then breaking the loaves into pieces, he gave the bread to the disciples, who distributed to the people. When we bring what we have to the table and offer it to Jesus, it becomes greater than anything we could have accomplished on our own. Even what we can do, we can't do without him. So he takes what we have and multiplies it or supercharges it. John 15:5. Yes, I am the vine, you are the branches. Those who remain in me and I in them will produce much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. The disciples saw thousands fed with what they gave to Jesus. But they ended up with a whole basket, each which was more than they had originally. Right? They only started with 5 loaves, 2 fish, right? And they ended up with a full basket of leftovers. Our sacrifice not only blesses others, but it also ends up blessing us. As we sacrifice for one another, as we sacrifice for the people in need, we will be blessed through it. Amen. You guys believe that? Yes. You guys believe that? Yes. Amen. Again, the disciples ended up with more at the end of the story for themselves than they started with, right? As Christians, we should all be striving to live this way. So what are some of the reasons why we don't live this way? We are not living this way for 2 reasons. Because of our selfishness and because of a poverty mindset. We are more concerned, let's be honest, we are more concerned and thinking of our own needs than anyone else's needs. We think that we won't be left with enough if we sacrifice for another family. We tell ourselves that the people in need to figure it out, need to be better stewards, need to go do something about it. But those are all selfish excuses that prevent us from living unselfishly. As we continue to live this way, it becomes part of who we are, where we don't consider others. So if we choose to continue to live this way and not consider other people and sacrifice for people, it's going to be who we become. Selfish people, that are not going to do anything for anyone. We have to rebuke our flesh and be obedient to the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit has compassion for everyone, has compassion for others. And you guys know what I'm talking about. When you're walking and you see someone in need, you feel the compassion of the Spirit within you to do something. We can't just walk by and consider doing something. We actually have to do something. The second reason why we don't live this way is because we allow ourselves to have a poverty mindset. I wrestled with this for a long time. A poverty mindset is feeling like you're poor and that you will always be poor because there is nothing you can do about it. I want to tell you guys, church, this is a lie from the enemy. That paralyzes us from what God is trying to do in our lives and through our lives for others. We all know the battle's in our mind, right? That's the battlefield. And if we believe the enemy's lies, we will adopt a poverty mindset. But if we believe the truth that God tells us, we will receive all of his abundance. The women's retreat was a big success, church. Amen. It was a big success. Amen. Because everyone was able to go, right? That wanted to go, and they were able to pay for it. Like they weren't saying, I'm not gonna go. I just can't afford it, right? We found a way to go. So I was so excited about that. Life group, recently, for the past couple of years, the church has been, paying for the cost for the families that are gathering. But recently, we went from the church paying for it to asking everyone to pay $25. $25 a person for 6 weeks. That's reasonable, right? But we have a choice to either just assume and believe that we can't come up with the funds, or we can believe that God will help us make a way for us to be united in fellowship with our life group families. If we believe that we can afford to be part of a 6-week life group for $25, then we are living in a poverty mindset. In today's world, guys, you step outside the house, you spend $25 in 2 seconds, right? Like, you blink and you're spending $25. With the cost of everything today. But the most beautiful thing is people are starting to leverage some of us to help in being better stewards. And I think that's where the real problem is we struggle being good stewards of all that God is giving us. And if we truly desire and want to be good stewards of God's giving us, we're going to have more than we need. We're going to have more than we need. We're going to have enough to be a blessing to others. I assure you that. And I know a family that's going through this discipleship, but they're actually doing their finances with pastor. And I'm telling you, they see exactly the way they were living versus what actually was on paper were two different things. And once you see it and you see God's provision, now you're excited. You're like, wow, I see where he's taking me. I see his abundance in my life. And it's so freeing. It's so freeing. And they signed up for our couples retreat coming up, right? God makes a way. God makes a way. Yes. Yes. Praise God. Brother Steve will give you all the information. He's the man. Yeah. Thank you for that, Mr. Tommy. So, I promise you, family, God is a Father that wants to bless us with his abundance. But we have to show him that we truly desire and actually will be good stewards of all that he's providing for us. I promise. What is stewardship? Stewardship means that we are responsible and taking care of someone else's belonging, someone else's. So all that we have is God's. Right? Right? So if we truly want to be good stewards of all he's giving us, he will release us from that poverty mindset. And he'll welcome us into his abundance. I promise you. And this is how we get set free from selfishness and how we overcome a poverty mindset. This is about selfishness and poverty mindset and the partnership between us and Jesus, but it's also about faith. Amen? The faith question is, can Jesus really provide for this group? And can Jesus take what I have and change the community with it? Do you believe that Jesus can provide all your needs and that he can multiply and add and do miracles with what you are willing to offer him? That's the question. It's that sound from that show, right when you ask a question. So do you guys believe that? Do you guys believe that God can meet all your needs? All right? And he can multiply it for everyone else? Hebrews 11:1, faith is the confidence that we hope for will actually happen. It gives us assurance about things we cannot see. We must put all of our faith in Christ. As we seek and put our faith in Jesus, we will transform to be unselfish and receive the confidence not to have a poverty mindset. Verse 20, they all ate as much as they wanted, and afterward the disciples picked up 12 baskets of leftovers. The groups of people that had their needs met went from being concerned with their needs to being in awe of the presence of Jesus. And I think about my journey. I'm living in the awe of Jesus. When he delivered me from my addiction overnight, a miracle. And I continue to be reminded every day, like, wow, how could you do that? Why did you do that? I'm glad he did that. We also see the disciples going from serving to sacrificing their lives for others. Right? They were serving the bread, right? And now they're sacrificing what they had for them. The crowd of the thousands needs to move from healing and eating to being in awe of the healer and provider. Jesus is our healer and he is our provider. The disciples need to continue to move from serving to sacrificing. Because we know Jesus is going to eventually ask them to lay their lives down for him and take up their own crosses. The increase from 5 loaves and 2 fish to a whole basket that each received isn't to say that they are all going to have more than they gave. We are not offering to God to receive and have more. It's to say that he who takes all the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes worth of life will give them all of his eternal life in return. As we offer and surrender our sinful life to Jesus, we get to receive his righteousness. So I was thinking about the basket, and me and PV were talking about this 11 o'clock at night in the parking lot, and God kept just showing us, revealing us, and I just want to share. Think about the baskets the disciples had. That was a lot, right? But there was more than bread in there or fish in there. They walked away with so much more. So much more. And some of the things that came to mind were, like, could you imagine their faith? How much it increased, right? The new relationships for the people that they sacrificed for and they were serving, they got to, enter into. The courage and the strength that they had, knowing that Jesus is the provider and the healer. How much more hope they had. Joy. Can you imagine? I would have been jumping up and down. Like, just in his presence, just blessing and, like seeing, you know what it is when we see someone just delivered or come to Christ. It's just so much joy, so much love. And they walked away with being more unselfish, right? Because they knew everything that was provided for us from God. And he's never going to let them go without, right? And just confidence in God's abundance. So good, amen? Amen. Worship team, you guys mind coming up? All right, church, if we can stand, let's stand. Hope and pray that you guys were blessed by the Word of God this morning. Let's just spend just a few minutes with the Lord. So wherever you are, let's just bow our heads and close our eyes and listen to the Lord. So I just want to Here at our church, we always want to give everyone an opportunity to respond to the Word of God, to what God is maybe telling you. So I just want to ask if there's anyone here today that is tired of going through the same life cycles that continue to lead to a place where you are not satisfied with how things are going, or where there is no contentment, or you feel like you're walking aimlessly without a purpose, and constantly dealing with worries or anxieties. If that's you this morning, you're probably hungry. And God desperately wants to take care of your hunger by offering you the bread of life today. As we heard earlier, Jesus is the bread of life. He is our daily bread who provides healing and all of our needs. He already knows your needs. He already knows what you're going through. He knows your thoughts before you think of those. And He's desperately calling to help you. He's stepping out of the boat, pursuing you, walking towards you. Just want to give, whoever that person may be, I just want to give you the opportunity to accept Christ in your heart today. I promise you, He will never leave you. He will never leave you or forsake you. You will be living in His awness, in His presence. Good news is you're in the groups that actually made it to be in the presence of God. The Word tells us when two or more gather in His name, there He is in the midst of us. So the Lord is here, and He's just asking, if you're hungry, son or daughter, I want to give you the only thing, which is Jesus, that will meet every need and help you, sustain you until eternity. So if that's you this morning, heads are bowed, eyes are closed. If that's you, if you want to receive the bread of life this morning, we want to give you the opportunity to do that. Will you just please raise your hand where you are? Anyone this morning? Just tired of the cycles that we're going through, dealing with anxiety, want contentment in your life? Anyone? Amen. Praise God. All right, so we're going to have communion, and I want to spend some time in prayer, and I want to ask anyone, for the rest of us, I'd like to pray with anyone, and our prayer team also would like to pray for you and with you. If you have something that you want to offer to Christ this morning, just like the disciples did, if you have something you want to offer Him, let's come to the altar with faith and ask God to multiply that. Amen? I don't know what that might be. It could be your time. It could be some skills that you have. It could be anything like resume building or organization skills or just anything that you have that you can offer to the Lord for Him to use and multiply. Would you bring that up to the Lord and make that offering, and we'll pray for that. Amen. Amen. Communion's open and the altars are open. Let's spend some time with the Lord before we run out. Amen. God bless you guys.
Blessed assurance.